Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on Microsoft's grand plan for AI. And let me tell you, it's about way more than just a product. It's about building the entire factory for the future.
I mean, you can't miss it, right? Their AI Copilot is popping up absolutely everywhere. In Windows, in Office, in our code. It's suddenly the face of the whole company. But what we're all seeing on the surface, that's not the whole story. It's not even close. It's just the very tip of a massive, massive strategic iceberg.
So what is their actual plan to win this whole AI revolution? To really get it, you have to look past all the flashy product announcements and the marketing speak. You need to dig down into the fundamental strategy, the actual architectural blueprint for how they plan to dominate the next era of technology.
And lucky for us, an investment memo for some very high-level clients spells it all out. So let's dive into it. This analysis lays out the core thesis behind Microsoft's entire AI play. Yeah, this is the stuff they don't really talk about in the big keynotes.
The secret to understanding everything, and I mean everything, Microsoft is doing right now comes down to this one simple concept that CEO Satya Nadella calls the two-factory model. It's a simple name for sure, but it is an incredibly powerful and honestly a very elegant strategy. All right, so first up, you've got the token factory. Just think of this as the heavy industry of AI. Its one and only job is to churn out the raw material of modern AI, these little things called tokens, which are basically just units of intelligence. The goal here is simple: make intelligence a utility, just like electricity, and be the world's lowest cost producer, period.
See, Nadella's key insight is that when you're operating at a global scale, nothing is truly a commodity. Their massive early partnership with OpenAI basically forced them to figure out how to run these incredibly complex AI data centers more efficiently than anyone else on the planet. And that efficiency, that's now their core competitive advantage.
So you've got all this cheap, raw intelligence. What do you do with it? Well, that's where the second factory comes in, the agent factory. Now this is the high-end, high-margin part of the business. It takes all those cheap tokens from the first factory and packages them into these smart AI agents or copilots that actually solve real business problems.
And the ultimate vision for these agents is to completely change how we interact with business software. Instead of, clicking through 5 different screens and running complex reports in some clunky old system, you'll just ask your copilot to do it for you. They literally want to collapse that entire frustrating layer of old software into a single intelligent interface.
So you see how it works. It's this perfectly balanced two-part model. The token factory uses scale and efficiency to make the raw product. Intelligence, dirt cheap. Then the agent factory uses a totally different advantage, proprietary data, to sell a finished product for a massive premium. One factory just feeds the other. It's beautiful.
Now this blueprint is powerful all by itself, but it's supported by two massive, you could almost say unfair, competitive advantages that are incredibly difficult for anyone else to replicate.
The first advantage comes straight from their deal with OpenAI, and Nadella himself described its value in the most stunningly direct terms possible. He said, "It's like having a state-of-the-art frontier AI model for free."
Just think about what that really means. While every other company has to either spend billions developing their own AI models or pay a competitor for every single token their products use, Microsoft has royalty-free access. It's a permanent structural cost advantage that's baked right into their business model. Nobody can match that.
Their other unfair advantage is something no amount of money can buy. It's decades of your data. We're talking about the emails, the documents, the spreadsheets, the Teams chats, all the work that happens across their software ecosystem.
And this creates this incredibly powerful flywheel. The massive usage of their core Office apps generates a unique, private data set they call the Microsoft Graph. Their AI agents, the copilots, are grounded in that specific data, which makes them uniquely useful to you and your business. And it's this unique utility that allows them to charge a premium, creating this powerful self-reinforcing loop.
So how does this two-factor strategy actually play out in the real world against competitors? Let's take a look at the new AI battlefield, using their rivalry with the data analytics powerhouse, Palantir, as a perfect example. It all comes down to two completely different pitches to a big company. Palantir's pitch is, your data is a disaster. We need to spend years building a clean, perfect model of it before AI can be useful. Microsoft's pitch is so much simpler. Don't worry about the mess. Our Copilot is smart enough to figure it out and deliver value today because it's already plugged into all your Microsoft data.
But here is the absolute genius of the two-factory model.
Microsoft doesn't really care which option the customer chooses. If the customer goes with Palantir's multi-year project, that project's going to run on a massive amount of cloud computing, which, guess what? Microsoft will happily sell them from its token factory. If the customer chooses Microsoft's solution, they win by selling their high-margin Copilot from the agent factory. Heads they win, tails they win.
Ultimately, this isn't just a product strategy, it's a financial one. The entire blueprint is designed to re-architect the software industry and translate that technical dominance into straight-up financial dominance. All that incredible spending you see on AI data centers, it isn't a gamble. It's backed by this number, $400 billion. That's their backlog of contracted future revenue. They are building the token factories because the demand has already been sold.
And this creates two powerful, parallel growth engines for investors. The first engine is Azure consumption, driven by the token factory. The second, and maybe even more profitable engine, is the high-margin subscription revenue from the agent factory. One drives raw growth, the other drives profitability.
What you're looking at here is the perfect recipe for what the memo calls a golden age of margin expansion. They are structurally driving down the cost of their key ingredient, intelligence, while at the exact same time, they are selling finished products that use that ingredient at a higher price than anything they've ever sold before.
The memo's conclusion is just powerful. It argues that Satya Nadella isn't just reacting to the AI revolution or trying to find his place in it. He is actively designing the entire landscape to his company's advantage. He's not just playing the game, he's building the stadium.
And this brilliant strategy leaves the rest of the industry with one enormous question. When you have the lowest cost raw materials, a data advantage nobody can replicate, and a business model that profits whether your customers choose you or your competitors, how exactly is anyone supposed to compete with that?